2 weeks to the start of the new school year, school administrations are complaining of the timid registration process in their institutions. Most have attributed the situation to the economic hardship parents face at the moment. It is the same for tellers who lament business is slow, with few parents visiting their workshops to order or buy pairs of uniforms for their children. You will have the details in this newscast. And in economy, the cocoa Cameroon has noticed an increase in the sales of cocoa beans this year, providing 13% of its export earning, placing this cash product in second place behind crude oil with 39% over the last 3 seasons of the National Cocoa and Coffee campaign that Cameroon has been maximizing in cocoa production. You will have the details in this newscast. Stay tuned for developments.
Canal International. Canal International.
Good evening once again, and thanks for joining me on the Primetime Newscast in the English language. We begin with education. Barely 2 weeks to the start of the 2022-2023 academic year. The process of registration is still very timid in different schools in the nation's capital, Yaoundé. Visiting some of these institutions, the school administration say only very few parents pass around to collect the prospectus, and the situation the school administration have attributed to economic hardship parents currently face at the moment. Hi, Cynthia visited some of these schools and I put together the following report.
Days are narrowing down. School authorities waiting for parents to fulfill the tradition of registration, but the pace, they lament, is very slow.
By
the same time during the previous years, we were always faced with the affluence of parents at the secretariat, but at the moment, only few parents pass by for information, so it is still very timid. We hope the situation will change by month end. School managers have blamed the low turnout to the difficult economic situation of the country, with parents on the hot seat of financial crisis at the moment.
You know, everybody is crying about the economic crisis out there, so the pressure is not really on, but they are coming. You understand? Each year have their peculiarities.
But there is hope with the daily promises of the parents.
Most of them, you know, they get through us by phone and say, we are coming. It's just that things are still really tough, so we believe in the coming weeks or coming days, the pressure will be on.
The just released GCE result serving as a solid element to guide parents make a choice of school for their children.
I saw the results of the official exams at the gate, and they have a very good success rate. Those are some of the elements I'm considering before registering my children here.
While many parents are still wondering over the choice of schools and the financial constraints, a few have already booked the spaces of their children, waiting for kickoff on September 5th.
And it is the same situation with tellers complaining of slow business, as very few parents visit their workshops to actually order or buy uniforms for their children. A situation they say they're hoping it might change in the next few days. Stephanie Ching visited some workshops in Cameroon Economic City, Douala, and put together the reactions of some tellers. Her report.
Over 2 weeks to the start of another academic year, tellers in some markets in Douala are yet to get buyers of uniforms they have sewn. Their cry remains the fact that business is not flourishing like the previous years.
It's strong. Costume manual they know. Then the car has price, they only buy them. I feel Monday like today, I don't send that two pieces.
Ça ne va pas. Il faut que se débrouiller, on est là, on dort, la pluie, tout ça. C'est comme ça qu'on est.
Some of these tellers sew uniforms on order, while a few invest in sewing the uniforms with the hope of having customers.
I sew command and I sew at the sell. had to work to say client come. I take my money, I put them for inside client come one time, I sell them for you.
At a time like this, some parents say they have done all necessary preparations for back to school, but after battling with high prices of school needs in the market, especially with uniforms.
Compared to what I've been getting before, the prices are high, the uniform, though maybe because of the materials or what.
Inflation in the country has been blamed for the unnecessary hardship parents are going through, which hinders them from shopping for back to school as usual.
She is 31 years old and mother of 8 children. She has constituted herself to bridge the gap or bridge the odds to make herself a commercial motorbike rider at the most sustainable neighborhood in the nation's capital, Yaoundé. Just like men, she is a true reflection of what the profession portrays. Let's discover this courageous woman in the nation's capital, Yaoundé, who is equally a family breadwinner, in this report put together by Hassan Shia.
In the midst of over 100 of bike riders parked this afternoon here at the Mesasi Road Junction in Yaoundé is a female commercial motorbike rider. 31 years old Clarice, about 1.5 meters tall with over 80 kilograms of weight. Her working outfit, just like that of the men, tennis shoes, jean trousers, a cap and a very thick pullover. Nothing distinguishes her from her colleagues. Larisse, as she is popularly called here, was pushed into the activity by circumstances. Hardship pushed me into this. I had never wished to be a bike rider, but it happened just like that. The holder of a Category A driver's license is highly appreciated by her colleagues for such a courageous step. She does like us. Life is difficult, so she is obliged to. We say courage to her, and if other women could emulate, it would have been good. The mother of 8 is a point of attraction along the Messasin-Colondom Road. Many clients rushing to test her expertise. It is my first time. I stood by the other side of the road, looking at her. I thought it was a man with a female resemblance, but when I moved closer, I noticed it was really a woman. I said to myself that I must hire her, even at a higher tariff, just to experience her talent, and I am very satisfied. Before leaving the house at 6 a.m. every day, Clarice receives a kiss of blessing from her husband. Returning home at about 6 p.m., she is welcomed by her children and grandchildren, a breadwinner and a source of happiness for the family. Now that I'm home without a job, she is the one running the family. Most often, 2 of us collaborate, and even though she generates more income than I do, she remains very respectful towards me. I appreciate her 100%. It was in her native Sa village that she began to master the handlebars, and today she is 14 years old in the profession. And when you have the privilege of letting yourself be driven by a woman across bridges, surveying tracks, easily going through areas that are not very passable, at some point you can only rejoice with hands in the air.
What a courageous woman. And despite a 2020 boycott of the municipal and legislative elections, citing the non-revision of Cameroon's electoral code, Maurice Kamto, the leader of Cameroon's Renaissance Movement Party, has called on militants to massively register on the electoral list and take part in upcoming elections. Maurice Kamto was speaking in Bafoussam in the west region of Cameroon over the weekend as he installed newly elected members of the party. He was received by a mammoth crowd of militants and party sympathizers, as we hear in this report by Reginald Ketandak.
D'inscription massive des populations sur les listes électorales.
In what seems to be an admission of a political blunder, refusing to partake in the 2020 municipal and legislative elections, Maurice Kamto has made a U-turn, calling on his militants to massively register into the electoral list, despite the non-revision of Cameroon's electoral code.
Comme je n'ai cessé de vous le dire,
as I always said, since 10 years of existence of our party, Cameroon will know change. And that change will come peacefully through the ballot box.
The leader of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement Party was speaking in Bafoussam over the weekend as he officially installed newly elected members of the CRM West Regional Bureau. The meeting, which held at the esplanade of the Evangelical Church in Bafoussam, witnessed a massive turnout of CRM militants and party sympathizers. A meeting that was preceded by exchange of bitter words between the CRM and the ruling party, as Maurice Kamto publicly accused the former of trying to frustrate their meeting following a ping-pong by government authorities to grant them authorization. At the helm of the West Regional Bureau is Barrister André Marie Tassa.
Nous avons découvert notre mission.
We have discovered our mission. We have come to the conclusion that we have to continue this struggle with the goal of improving the livelihood of Cameroonians. We are fighting for our farmers to have better roads to transport their crops. We want our people to be able to valorize their businesses and earn a decent living.
The meeting in Bafoussam, many have tipped, is a start of laying groundworks for mobilization ahead of the 2025 presidential elections.
And let's talk economy. According to the National Institute of Statistics, the sales of local cocoa beans has provided Cameroon with 13% of its exports earnings, placing this cash product in second place behind crude oil with 39%. And over the last 3 seasons of the cocoa campaign, Cameroon has been maximizing in cocoa production. In the following report, Sherifa Saleh.
During the 2021-2022 ONCC cocoa campaign, which theoretically extended from August 1st, 2021 to July 15, 2022, Cameroon produced and marketed a total of 295,163 tons of beans. According to data compiled by the National Cocoa and Coffee Board, NCB, the information was revealed on August 18, 2022 in Yokaduma, a production basin in the eastern region of the country, which hosted the launching ceremony of 2022 to 2023 campaign. Compared to the 292,471 tons of beans produced and marketed during the 2020 to 2021 season, the last campaign reveals a slight increase in national production marketed by 0.91%, which corresponds to 2,692 tons in absolute value. With this performance, Cameroon achieved its tonnage of the last 7 seasons, and above all, shows a progressive increase in production over the last 3 cocoa seasons. The improvement observed during the 2021 to 2022 season has rubbed off on the prices paid to producers. According to ONCC figures, a kilogram of cocoa beans was sold to buyers at a maximum price of 1,290 francs during the last season, compared to 1,210 francs during the 2020-2021 season. This shows an increase of 80 francs per kilogram. The minimum price was 750 francs compared to 700 francs in the previous season. These rising prices reflect the strength of demand for the red brick bean produced in Cameroon. The dynamism of purchases can be explained by the arrival over the past 2 years of 2 new crushers on the local processing market. According to the National Institute of Statistics, cocoa is one of Cameroon's main export earners. In the first half of 2021, as sales of raw cocoa beans provided Cameroon with 13% of its export earnings, placing this cash product in second place behind crude oil with 39%.
And the Minister of Arts and Culture has tasked the new commission in charge of copyright and related rights in Cameroon to implant sanity within the sector. The 5 members of the body were commissioned into office this Monday in the nation's capital, Yaoundé, with a mission of regulating the cries of author. Umokusumi, tell us more.
President and members of...
These are the 5 new leaders of the Commission of Collective Management Bodies of Copyright appointed on July 22nd by the Prime Minister. At the head, Theophile Eyanga, who has taken part in all development strategies of the arts and culture subsectors and the copyright sector since the year 2000. He is accompanied by 4 other members of the Commission coming from different administrative units ready to ensure the regularity in the repartitioning of copyright and related authors' rights in Cameroon.
This team has the specificity that it is headed by somebody who has been a controller. An inspector general in the Ministry of Arts and Culture is somebody who inspects, who controls everything. So he's somebody who knows the house, who has even participated in the cleanup that the head of state prescribed, and who was very, very instrumental. In fact, he was in charge of all the texts that were prepared for the new takeoff of this structure. So we think that it's somebody who knows the house, and that...
Happy of this commission, the board chair of the Cameroon Musical Arts Corporation, Atebazo, says it is a step ahead.
The minister is giving him an opportunity to directly implement the policy of government. We think that this commission, especially with people from the different ministries who are supposed to accompany us work, will do a different job, a better job. In fact, it is our prayer, and we are hoping that we'll be able to raise more money to be able to pay artists.
Installing them into functions this Monday, August 22nd in Yaoundé, the Minister of Arts and Culture, Pierre Ismaël Bidoumpact, challenged the new commission for a better management of such rights to enable artists enjoy the fruits of their labor.
Thanks very much, Omo Kusumi. And it is without cultural reports that we wrap up this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. The French edition will be yours at 19h50 with Alain Gislain Kanga. Up next is the brief, the L'Actualité with Mathieu Fangwa. I will be yours again, same time tomorrow, God willing. Bye-bye.